About 24 hours, former FBI Director James Comey will appear before the Senate Intelligence Committee. He is expected to publicly rebut what the president said about their private conversations. It will be a blockbuster moment, one that Washington and the world will be watching closely.
We're joined now by Illinois Congressman Mike Quigley, a Democratic member of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, thanks so much for being with us. Before we get to James Comey tomorrow, we have Dan Coats today, the current Director of National Intelligence. And this morning, the Washington Post reports that on March 22nd, 2 days after testimony from James Comey, that the president asked Dan Coats to intervene with the FBI to get them to back off the investigation into Michael Flynn. Can you confirm the report?
I can't, because anything we had learned about that at this point in time would have been in a classified setting. I will say this. If true, it is part of the Trump administration's graduation here. Initially in this investigation, what we saw was the White House delaying, distracting, deflecting. The claims that the Trump Tower was bugged by President Obama, the Nunez midnight excursion, claims that all this was fake news. It graduates to the arguably obstruction stage when you hear stories like this. Firing Director Comey for that FBI thing, and love to hear the testimony tomorrow. Director Comey alleging that he was told not to investigate General Flynn.
So there's a number of things being looked at here. Obviously, was there any obstruction of justice? Also, was there any collusion? On the collusion point, listen to what the top-ranking Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee said to our Jake Tapper just a few days ago on that.
Is there any evidence of collusion that you have seen yet? Is there?
Listen, there is a lot of smoke. We have no smoking gun at this point, but there is a lot of smoke.
All right, so you sit on the House Intelligence Committee. Do you agree with him? There's a lot of smoke, no smoking gun. Have you seen a smoking gun?
The way I've described it is, if it was a criminal investigation, you have probable cause to go forward. You don't have guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. The investigation is in its infancy. The House has yet to interview a single one of our over 20 witnesses we anticipate that would testify in front of us. So there's a long way to go. It is premature to say that, as we've heard with some, that people will go to jail. It's premature to say that there's no evidence of collusion.
So the issue, another issue besides collusion, as Poppy was saying, is obstruction. You used that word before. The thing is that Dan Coats put out a statement that said he never felt pressured by the president. Even if this conversation happened, which he did not deny, he never felt pressured by the president to back off an investigation. James Comey, we understand, is not going to testify tomorrow that he felt like he was interfered with as an investigation. He's going to lay out the facts. But if he felt there was obstruction, we're told he would have said something at the time. So if James Comey didn't think there was obstruction, Dan Coats didn't think there was obstruction, is there a there?
Well, in terms of, is there obstruction from a criminal point of view, or just the fact it was the president's intent? Some of that's going to be dependent upon exactly how they testify. So let's see what they have to say. I mean, Director Comey is a straightforward, matter of fact, but he does surprise you at times. Just remember the last time he testified in front of the House in public session, he announced for the first time the Justice Department investigation. He announced that the Russians attacked our democratic process to help one candidate, Mr. Trump, over the other, Mrs. Clinton.
We got 20 seconds left. This is the only time we've learned that Comey will testify publicly on this. You sit on the House Intelligence Committee. Are you going to be watching tomorrow, sort of wishing you had a shot at him?
I think he'll testify in front of our committee as well. I will be there tomorrow to watch.
All right,
All right.